Do you smell that? I think I smell something. Something new. Perhaps it's a new mod. And to be more specific, I think it's a new Half-Life 1 mod. And it's already out. That's right, today we're covering a mod for the first Half-Life that released only a few days ago, on February 22nd to be exact, and that mod is called Half-Life Field Intensity, and it has been an on and off development for at least 13 years. So strap in everybody, we're about to learn a little bit more about this new single-player mod that will certainly satisfy that Half-Life itch you have right underneath your nose. You know, on that part where mustaches grow. Or maybe that itch is because you got a booger stuck there. Nah, just kidding, you look amazing. Let's get into this mod.
LambdaGeneration.
Yes, even this week we have fan art that we picked out. And this week we're featuring a piece by LambdaGen user @Smonkito. They decided to depict Gordon Freeman in a full heavy plate suit of armor instead of his standard HEV suit, and the results are quite marvelous. Want your artwork featured next time? Send it in the fan art section over on community.lambdageneration.com, and hey, you might see your artwork featured here next. Half-Life Field Intensity is a mod created by a team called Hazard Team. In this mod, you play as a corporal named Stefan Oldfield. How old is he? 26. Good question. The story revolves around the arrival of the Hiku soldiers and plays out until about the nuclear explosion that happens at the end of opposing force. With about 5 to 10 hours of gameplay and 34 maps in total, there's definitely a lot to get out of this mod. Now, unfortunately, due to time constraints, I haven't been able to play the entirety of the mod just yet. Half-Life 2 Overcharged was also released on the same day as Field Intensity, so I decided to stream that yesterday instead, and it was pretty neat. Now, I do think I have a grasp on how the mod plays though, and I got some things to say about it, so I'll be talking about my first impressions on the mod in a little bit. First, I want to talk about the history of this mod. When did it get started, and how did it progress over the years? Let's have a look at its ModDB page. Usually, there's a lot of information to gain from visiting a mod's ModDB page, especially the articles and the images tell a great deal about a mod's journey to completion. Usually, these articles are pretty long, often well-written pieces of literature talking about everything new in the mod at that given time. For Field Intensity though, it's a slightly different story, as pretty much all of its articles are rather short. But hey, that does mean that there's less reading to be done, but it also means that info is a little sparse. What I do know though is that the mod started development in around 2009, not as Half-Life Field Intensity, but as Half-Life Soldiers Adventures. If you're a Half-Life mod connoisseur, you might recognize that name much better. Although the articles being rather short, there are actually a whole lot of images on the ModDB page. A lot of these images come from 2009, and of course more images were uploaded down the line. Besides screenshots from maps, we also got screenshots from a bunch of flags, a sketch from Paincake, one of the developers, when he wasn't quite sober, and of course, much more. Pretty much all of the articles posted on the ModDB page mostly go over how they have their own codebase and were able to implement a bunch of their own cool features. Some of them I'll go over in a bit. And most other articles go over breaks and pauses in development and them telling their audience that they're back at it, showing some screenshots of their progress at the same time. The second to last article on the ModDB page currently states that the mod was renamed officially to Half-Life Field Intensity, and that mod was set to release on March 23rd, 2022. However, that didn't happen, because the mod released a full month sooner on February 22nd, 2022. I know, it's a cool date. So now that I talked a little bit about the mod's history, let's go into my first impressions, shall we? Okay, full heads up here, I played around half an hour of the mod. The mod normally takes around 5 to 10 hours to complete, so I have nowhere near the complete picture of how the entirety of the mod is going to play out. But I do have a bunch of cool things to talk about that I found out, and as long as the mod is going to keep this quality level up, I'm pretty sure that I can recommend this mod to anyone willing to have a good time. Like I said before, you play as Corporal Stefan Oldfield, and together with your soldier buddies, you take on the evils lurking in the Black Mesa research facility, of which there are many. I mean, look at the scientist, right? The game starts off with a little cutscene showing how you arrive in the facility and how you kill several scientists on your way over there. Very classy. Once you're in the facility, you take control of Stefan and you get to talk to your buddy Kevin on the radio. Well, he talks to you and you stay mute, because that's just how Half-Life works. Right off the bat, you can see that the HUD has been changed from the original Opposing Force HUD. It's now a little bit bigger, and it includes subtitles for the custom voice acting that this mod has. The voice acting being pretty good actually as well. You can definitely hear an accent, but that doesn't necessarily mean that it's bad. The HUD now also shows you how many soldiers there are in your crew, and even how their health is holding up. This is actually a huge improvement from Opposing Force, where this stuff was just kind of a guessing game. And let's not forget about the objective screen that you can open by pressing tab. Here you can find out what your current objective is and what your character's thoughts are on the current events. It really helps to flesh out Stefan as a character, and I absolutely love that detail. Looking beyond the HUD, we obviously have the rest of the game. The level design is top-notch. I'd say it's slightly above Valve level in some areas, and for as far as I played, it never really stoops lower than Valve level. Levels seem well thought out, and never was I outright lost. I also like how these first levels take place in the dormitories too. Seeing all the Valve employees' names on these signs next to the dorms mixed in with the surnames of the mod developers is really nice to see, and a very cute detail. And details this mod does pretty well. There's this arcade room where little ditties are played once you get close to the cabinets. We have some fun games here too, like Ricochet 2, Electric Boogaloo, Xeno Invaders, Miss Robot, and of course, Frax Wars is here too. Oh, and don't forget about my all-time favorite arcade game, Floppy Man. G-Man? What are you doing in there? What's the G-Man doing in a video game? Silly bloke. This mod is brimming with detail, and you can tell that every corner of it is filled with love and passion. This mod screams to be played more by me, and I really don't think I'm doing it justice here by just describing my first impressions here. So I highly recommend you to go and play this mod right now. Like, right now. Download it straight away and tell me what you thought of the mod in the comments below. I'll get back to it as well, because this mod scratches that itch that I have real good. I left a link in the description below for you to download it. Oh, and don't forget to watch the VOD of yesterday's livestream if you're interested in what Half-Life 2 Overcharged has eventually become. It was a really fun stream. Should probably do that more often, eh?